Today I'm going to explore with you some of Hamilton's tallest waterfalls. We're going to get out and explore Tew Falls, Webster Falls, and Albion Falls. Let's get to it. If you haven't heard of Hamilton, Ontario, it's a port city in the Canadian province of Ontario. It's about 45 kilometers southwest of Toronto, or just over an hour's drive depending on traffic. Since it's so close to Toronto and other major cities, it makes for a perfect day trip for yourself and your partner, or for even your whole family. Hamilton is also nicknamed the City of Waterfalls. That's because it has over 100 of them. So let's get right to exploring the first one on our list, Tew Falls. You can find Tew Falls in the Spencer Gorge Conservation Area in Dundas, Ontario, a beautiful neighborhood of Hamilton. The parking lot for the falls is just off Harvest Road in Dundas. The admission is about $16 per car, but the price can go up during peak seasons. This is around the Canadian fall color season, and this year that starts at September 28th. During this time, you'll have to make a reservation through Hamilton Conservation Authority's website just to visit Tew Falls. The place gets super busy. The hike to the Tew Falls lookout starts just past the parking gatehouse. You'll cut right and head through the forest path. Eventually, you'll see a bridge to your right, and across that bridge, you'll see the Tew Falls sign. In front of it is the first lookout point, and this is only like 5 minutes into your hike. Tew Falls is actually the tallest waterfall in Hamilton. It's 41 meters tall, which is nearly the height of Niagara Falls. Tew Falls is a ribbon waterfall. That means water from the creek drops straight down into the deep gorge. Tew Falls is also a really cool example of the unique geological formation that is the Niagara Escarpment. It's a massive ridge that extends for more than 1,000 kilometers across North America. We dive into the cool details about the Niagara Escarpment in our blog post, so be sure to check it out after you watch this video. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Tew Falls are named after a man named Johnson Tew. He owned the property from 1874 to 1947. Most of the land surrounding Tew Falls, including the Dundas Peak Lookout area, was farmland owned by the Tews family and other early settlers in Hamilton. You can actually reach the Dundas Peak Lookout by continuing on the Tew Falls Trail a little bit past the first and second lookout. Dundas Peak offers panoramic views of the city and is worth going to. The entire hike for Tew Falls and Dundas Peak will take roughly 40 minutes, depending on how long you stop for photos and to watch the scenery. This means that you'll need comfy shoes. The hike is uphill, and there's a lot of uneven terrain. And now that we've explored Tew Falls and Dundas Peak, let's pop over to our next waterfall on our list, Webster Falls. Webster Falls is just around the corner from Tew Falls. It's about a 3-minute drive. You'll access the parking lot for Webster Falls off Fallsview Road in Dundas, and you'll also have to pay $16 for the admission fee there, too. Starting from the Webster Falls parking lot, there's a small hiking area to the left of the lot where you can view the old Webster family cemetery. This path will take you on a loop around the escarpment and up to the first waterfall lookout point. Alternatively, you can head right from the parking lot and go straight to the first falls lookout point. You won't miss it, it's just beyond a beautiful stone fence. Webster's Falls is 22 meters high. It's actually a curtain waterfall, so the water flows smoothly over the edge in a wide sheet. The falls were originally known as Dr. Hamilton's Falls, since Dr. James Hamilton purchased the land in 1818. Joseph Webster and his family purchased the land in 1820. He even installed a mill that was later destroyed. In 1933, Webster's Falls was made into a public park. You can dive into the full history behind Webster's Falls, including the fire that destroyed the mills, in our blog post. If you head down the trail just past the waterfall platform, you'll see a paved pathway to the left that will take you to the other side of the gorge. From there, you can get a closer view of the water going over the cliff. You'll also get to see multiple angles of the beautiful cobblestone bridge. Like many of Hamilton's waterfalls, there are also stories of love and tragedy intertwined with the history. One story is of two lovers who locked themselves in each other's arms and jumped over the edge of Webster's Falls. You can read about this mysterious lore in our blog post. And now that we've covered Webster's Falls, let's pop over to the last waterfall on our list, Albion Falls. And if you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Albion Falls is in East Hamilton, so it's about a 35 to 40 minute drive from Webster's Falls. It's on Mountain Brow Boulevard, and parking is in Upper Kings Forest Park. It's free to access, and the viewing platforms are open 24/7. Albion Falls is 19 meters tall and is by far one of the most popular waterfalls in all of East Hamilton. But this means that the viewing platforms can get pretty busy on the weekends. Albion Falls is a cascade waterfall. This means the water tumbles over a series of steps, creating a really cool layered effect. The falls actually get their name from the once nearby Albion Mills. The mill served as the center of the Albion village in the early 19th century. Unfortunately, like many of Hamilton's early industrial settlements, Albion Village faded away with time as newer technologies and changes in industrial needs emerged, leaving behind the legacy of Albion Falls. Learn more about the rich history behind Albion Falls in our blog post. And of course, Albion Falls is also known for its part in local folklore. One particularly well-known tale is of a young woman named Jane Riley, who leapt to her death from the falls after being rejected by her lover. You can read about this tragic story in our blog post. At Albion Falls, there are also a few trails that you can access that go along the escarpment just past the viewing platforms. You have to be very careful on these trails, though. There's a lot of poison ivy, tree roots sticking out, and cyclists zipping by. And when it comes to these beautiful places, we also have to remember that it's not just European history that lives here. There's a rich Indigenous connection to Hamilton's waterfalls. This means Indigenous nations lived along the Niagara Escarpment, including areas near Tew Falls, Webster Falls, and Albion Falls. This also means that these waterfalls were more than just home to mills and landmarks. They were central to Indigenous life as part of trade routes, hunting grounds, and spiritual sites. The surrounding creeks, like Spencer Creek, for example, provided freshwater, fish, and fertile land, essential to Indigenous life. Learning about Indigenous history is vital for respecting the land and cultures that have long cared for it. I encourage you to do so by reading about the Indigenous connection to these wonderful places in our blog post. So, today we visited Tew Falls, Webster Falls, and Albion Falls, all within about 35 to a 40-minute drive from each other. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And of course, if you have any comments or questions about these wonderful places, put them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our blog post with more in-depth history about Webster Falls, Tew Falls, Dundas Peak, and Albion Falls. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video helps you get out to explore Hamilton's waterfalls. See you next time.